Hey, what is up guys, it is Silver Sun here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my review on Mob Psycho Season 2, Episode 10. Alright, so this episode starts off with Claw already into their whole world domination plan, pretty much taking over. I don't think it was the, main building of the city, but it was a pretty big building nonetheless, and that was pretty much their hideout. For the course of this episode, they're pretty much up on top of this big, tower, pretty much defending it off from any sort of government people or anybody that opposes them. And pretty much it's like the upper, what they call themselves, the Ultimate Five. They're all just there, pretty much just waiting for someone to come by and attack them. And they're pretty much using their little army of espers, the little artificial espers. I don't know if they're like actual people or if they're like just some sort of like weird robots or whatever. There was some speculation there. But in any case, they're pretty much just defending themselves from whoever may come, and pretty much everybody's watching it on the news. Like they're all over the news. Obviously, the Reagan squad, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but like the little resistance group that they have, they're all watching on the news. Terry's still recovering from last episode when he got knocked out. But basically, Mob's still asleep at this point, surprisingly. I mean, it's been about a day now and he still hasn't woken up since the other night. But in any case, they're pretty much just watching on, and they're pretty much just trying to figure out what to do next and how to go about stopping these guys. And then at first, Reagan's pretty apprehensive. He's like, "No, it doesn't really matter. There's not much we can do. We're just regular people and such." Until all this commotion and whatnot starts to affect him personally, and so now he's pretty much fired up and ready to fight back against Claw, and so they come up with this plan of theirs to where basically they're trying to like infiltrate the base. Like half of them go uh, down below into the sewers to try and actually attack them there, but up on the ground, up on ground level, they're pretty much trying to distract them with these decoy cars, basically making it seem like it's an attack against them from up top, but really they're going at them from the bottom. But as they're trying to infiltrate them, obviously some of the crew members from Claw, they start coming through and they start, attacking them, making sure that they don't get any closer to ruining their plans. And so, pretty much while that's going on, where they're trying to fight back, Ritsu and Sho are actually fighting them as well on ground level, and it was actually quite interesting what Sho said around this part when he said that Ritsu was actually more powerful than Mob. I mean, he didn't outright say that. He just said he's like potentially more stronger than Mob, which is just crazy to think, because like ever since like episode one, Mob's been like way more powerful than Ritsu. So just even hear something like that is just crazy to think, like Ritsu of all people. Like you think maybe Teru, especially with last episode, that guy had like all the different moves and everything like that. I mean, we don't. I don't even think Mob really has any like special moves to him. I guess aside from his 100% state and everything like that. But even still, he doesn't really do any fancy tricks with his Esper powers. But in any case, they're fighting off the Ultimate Five, and basically there's this one guy that comes out. I can't remember his name for the life of me because, you know, it just went too fast last episode and I'm too dang lazy to look it up now. But basically, one of the Esper guys comes through, and he's able to control these plants to where they're pretty much sentient beings, and they're able, like, it's like Venus flytraps and whatnot, and they're able to attack them and stuff like that. Didn't see too much of the fight because it kept going back and forth between, you know, the little resistance group that Reagan has, Shell and Ritsu and whatnot, and also Mob's getting into some intense stuff this episode too, because he's still asleep. But um, basically, somewhere along the line in this episode, Claw actually infiltrates their base. Basically, they break in and they pretty much have to hide Mob and stuff like that, or at least Reagan has to hide him. Reagan didn't go through with the infiltration plot because he wanted to stay behind and help out Mob just in case if he were to wake up, he could explain everything that's going on to him. but that didn't seem to be the case, at least not yet, because Claw infiltrates them, and they're going through, looking everywhere. And here's one thing that I thought was really smart, and I really like this callback to a previous episode last season. It's um, really nice tidbit here. But basically, they get in and they're looking around everywhere until they find this what do you call it? This like freezer, basically that they're in. But they turned off the power and stuff, so it's not gonna like freeze them to death or anything like that. But pretty much, Reagan has Mob, piggybacking him on his shoulders, and pretty much Claw's there. The little lackeys, the the grunts basically of their army are pretty much like interrogating them or about to interrogate them. But then Reagan pulls out this cologne and he pretty much sprays it on them, which knocks them out. And it was the same cologne that he took from the Claw member. I forgot his name again, but last season when he went 1000% and he started letting Claw have it and letting them know that they were wrong about their plans and ideas and whatnot. Um, it was that part where one of them tried to shoot him, and then he took the gun away, and then he broke it, and then he pulled out the cologne to try to knock him out. Similarly with Koyama, when he knocked Mob out with the same cologne, he pretty much took it from him. I mean, I'm sure y'all remember it, and if y'all don't, it's pretty easy to look up. But yeah, basically, he took it and he kept it this whole time, and he used it here, and then after he knocked out the grunts, a big guy comes up. He pretty much comes in, he's about to attack him, but then he sprays him with the cologne. He gets knocked out too, surprisingly. But then after a short while, he gets back up, and then he starts like hulking out. He starts like going all crazy and whatnot, and then he starts trying to attack him, and then he's about to knock out Mob at this point. He's about to like smash this kid, and but before he can, Dimple actually comes through and he possesses Mob one more time to try and defend him from getting pulverized by this big guy. And so pretty much a fight starts to break out between the two, and Dimple's pretty much trying to protect Mob's body throughout all this, with all the commotion and whatnot. And this big, roided up Esper power powerhouse of a Esper pretty much starts rampaging throughout the city, starting to like attack people and stuff like that. And even Tsubame, she was like there was like a group of people, and Tsubame was in that group of people, and the guy was like right in front of him, and so Dimple pretty much stepped in and tried to protect her because if he didn't, obviously Mob would be very upset when he comes to and realizes what had happened. But basically, Mob gets punched so high into the air that he pretty much just starts flying throughout the sky, and then oh yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this episode. Actually, it's kind of crazy, but we actually get to see some of the side characters as well, like the kids from school and stuff like that, like the Telepathy Club and the Body Improvement Club. And one little touch I liked about the Body Improvement Club, it was actually kind of funny in my opinion, when they were, running and stuff like that, like the little fight on kind of jog that they have going on. They had Onigawara in the back looking just like Mob, and I thought it was the funniest thing because he was all out of breath and everything like that. I don't know, I just thought it was pretty funny to see all of that. But in any case, they're pretty much just jogging around, and then they actually catch Mob when he's falling from the sky, and then the big buff guy pretty much comes in, and then the captain of the Body Improvement Club pretty much steps up and he's like, "Hey, if you do this to Koyama, you're gonna be in big trouble and whatnot." But it turns out he was in big trouble because the big Esper guy pretty much just comes in, he just throws him up against the wall, and he's pretty much knocked out at this point. And he starts manhandling the Body Improvement Club like they're nothing, and then he's about to freaking step on Mob, but before he can, the captain pretty much comes in again, and he's just trying to protect Mob at all costs. Basically, the big, strong, buff guy is about to step on Mob until the captain comes in, and he's pretty much trying to hold up the foot from being crushed onto Kageyama, and basically he's pretty much just giving this little speech about how Mob pretty much motivates him, and how even though Mob always struggled when they were jogging and exercising and everything like that, he was still pushing himself and he was still, breaking his limits basically, and trying to be better than he already was, and so that pretty much motivated him to be better than he was, and actually lift the foot off off of him, but it was also with the help of Dimple because Dimple came in and he possessed him for a bit, and so pretty much uh, the captain pretty much went in and then just destroyed the big buff Esper guy, and then Dimple uh, stopped possessing him after that, and everybody saw him as a hero at that point, and they was like, oh shoot, you did a great job, Captain, and whatnot, and obviously he didn't know what happened there, but in any case, he saved Mob, and, oh, actually, I think, no, I think Mob actually stopped the big buff guy, because after he, uh, after he got the foot off of him, they started clashing a bit, and then all of a sudden Mob came to, he woke up, finally, and then now he's asking Dimple like what's going on, like what's wrong with the town, everything like that, and we can only assume what's gonna happen next week. All hell's gonna break loose. Says seems like all the Espers are gonna start fighting, and it's gonna be something quite similar to the intro, if I had to guess. But yeah, that this is a pretty good episode. I do like the pacing this season. Now that I'm thinking about it, like all the stuff that they've shown up until now, it was pretty good. Like some parts, I feel like could have had a bit more time than they already have. But in any case, I do like how this season is going as far as pacing. I mean, albeit a little fast in some sections and a little too slow in others. But well, no, I wouldn't say not too slow. I feel like most stuff was pretty rushed, but in any case, I do like how this season is turning out so far, and it seems like yeah, we only have like 2 episodes left to really wrap this up. So I can only imagine what the last episode is gonna be like. If the next episode is just gonna be all this commotion and crazy fighting, definitely gonna be some sort of resolution in the last episode. I just wonder how it's all going to turn out by the end of it. Obviously, Claw's going to be defeated, and everything's going to go back to normal. Probably similarly to the first season, but who knows at this point. Well, unless you're a manga reader, then you pretty much know everything that's going to happen. But I'm not one of them, so I can't tell what's going to happen. Not down to a T, anyways. But in any case, tell me what you guys thought of this episode. Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? You guys pumped for the next episode? Who do you think's gonna win the little death match that they're gonna have next episode? And yeah, that's pretty much it for this review, guys. So until the next one, Solar Sun is out.